most of your beauty products, anything that measures under 2 by 2 is going to end up in the landfill. Okay.
Mhm.
That is pretty much a guarantee in the
Yeah.
United States.
It's too
Also,
small for machines.
that's right. And also tubes are not recyclable in the United States. This is my background. So
Oh,
I
what?
learned a lot about this. So people who put tubes in the recycle bin, it will end up in the landfill. So I don't put recycling symbols on my tube because they will not end up in the recycling facility. So we don't believe in greenwashing.
This episode of Grounded in Maine is sponsored by ESG Review. ESG Review magazine is published quarterly in February, May, August, and November, and is available for free in print and digital formats. ESG Review is devoted to environmental, social, and governance strategies, technologies, and investments. ESGreview.net is updated every Wednesday with 8 new stories and is home to feature articles, news items, and more. Visit esgreview.net to stay informed and help us spark the collaboration and awareness needed to develop sustainable economies and communities around the world.
There's a place where there's no trouble, no more pain, no more struggle.
Grounded in Maine podcast is an open conversation about how we show up for the world. I started this podcast out of a desire to learn new ways to be sustainable because the word sustainability is big. It can be overwhelming, and I just wanted to learn, different ways to try to be part of the solution and not feel like it's too late. So I'm talking to people who are doing different things and learning so much. I hope you are too. Hi there. Thank you so much for listening to Grounded in Maine today. My name is Amy Bolduc, and my guest today is Arielle Moody, who is the CEO founder. She is the stuff for Mama Sol Sunscreen. So Arielle, thank you so much for being here. I am thrilled to have you and hear all about sunscreen because it's summer.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for having me. Excited.
So Mama Sol. And so it's like a sustainable, it's healthy, natural. I mean,
Yeah.
natural is tricky, right? But
Yeah, no, we're 100% mineral sun care brand. We have no chemical screens. We can get into the differences if you want to.
cool. Yes, please. Okay, so let's see. We could start with like how did you come up with Mama Sol? Like why sunscreen? I'm going to start with that. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I was 5 months pregnant with my first son, I started researching ingredients to avoid when you're pregnant or nursing. And the list was just so long. And sunscreen really stood out to me as being the most toxic. There
Mm,
was an ingredient that was in about 90% of sunscreens at the time called oxybenzone. And oxybenzone was found in breast milk, caused skin allergies, cell damage, destroys our coral reefs, all of the above, right?
my
So
God.
I went into, mild panic when I read it and I was like, "Oh my God, like why is this ingredient in so many of our sunscreens?" So I have over 15 years of beauty industry experience. I've worked for brands like Smashbox, Dr. Perricone, Bite Beauty, and then I also just recently was VP of sales for a leading beauty packaging and formulation supplier. And so my background's in sustainability and formula and packaging. And so I hired a chemist when I couldn't find a sunscreen that I loved, that didn't leave a white cast, that smelled good, that didn't leave your skin feeling greasy and you just wanted to wipe it off. So it took us 5 years to develop. And within 3 weeks of launching, we were organically featured on Access Hollywood. And it's been an amazing journey ever since.
Oh, Access Hollywood. That's big time.
Yeah.
So you must have just like exploded onto the scene.
It was a really great way to get your foot in the door. Let's just say that. It really gives you, it validates you, it validates the brand, and it gives you credibility.
For sure. And you're in California, and so it's not like you can go without sunscreen if you can't find one that you believe in, right?
You have to wear sunscreen, and honestly, no matter where you live, you gotta wear it. And even if it's cloudy out, 80% of the rays, even on cloudy days, are getting through to your skin. And it's, even though I think the misconception is there's two types of rays. There's UVB, which is going to burn, and then there's UVA, which is the aging and the cancerous rays, the longer rays. And just because you're not feeling that heat, which is infrared rays, you're not feeling that, you're not getting, maybe you're not getting burned because it's cloudy, you're actually still getting a lot of damage that is maybe not as naked to the eye, but it's there.
Right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, Um, so you guys, Ariel and I were talking about this. I was saying, I don't wear sunscreen. I just don't. I haven't. So this is for me as much as it is for you, maybe even more. But so I just, you hear so much about, the chemicals and putting things right on and and I'm like, I'm just not outside that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that a lot too. So even if you're not outside, even if you're just sitting near a window, even if you're just going outside for 5 minutes a day, even if you're just walking your dog, there's something called cumulative damage. And over a year, for example, you're going out 5 minutes every day, that accumulates to a lot of damage. And so people just don't realize. I mean, the first thing I do in the morning before I go anywhere is I put on sunscreen.
Mm.
And so, again, wearing that is just really important, even if you're, like I said, by a window. Now, another thing people don't think about is the damage that comes from your cell phones and your devices.
Right.
So blue light causes hyperpigmentation. Our face sunscreen actually blocks HEV rays, which is blue light from your screens and devices, from damaging your skin.
Oh, hang on. So you're saying the blue light from screens in general, so cell phone, computers, whatever, like it's not just bad for eyes, it's bad for
Correct.
skin.
Correct.
Dang it all. Okay, so we're inside, not even going outside. We should still be wearing.
Not all sunscreens are made equally. Mine happens to have blue light protection. Not all sunscreens have that. But if you are sitting near a window, or if you're just, like I said, you're walking outside, just for a few minutes a day, it adds up. And yeah, it's really important to wear sunscreen. And I, on my mission is really to educate people, especially want people like you who don't really believe in it, don't wear it, don't want to wear it.
Right.
We made our products very different, and we wanted to make it more of a ritual in your skincare routine.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because the other reason is, besides all the ingredients that are in it, like I'm just like it makes my face super greasy, then I break out, or it just feels, and then my glasses get smeary and I just hate that. But
It's really important to look at the ingredients that are in your sunscreen. So if you're saying that it makes you feel greasy, or if it is making you break out, all of our formulas are made with non-comedogenic ingredients, which means it's great for acneic skin. In addition, we've tested on over 100 people, 50% whom have sensitive or acneic skin, and we've had zero skin reactions. In fact, it's one of our number one feedback on with our customers is that it doesn't cause breakouts, it doesn't cause eczema flare-ups, and it's the best thing that they've used for their sensitive skin.
Zero.
Zero. Harper's Bazaar voted our face sunscreen top 10 sunscreen for sensitive skin.
Ooh, I do have sensitive skin now. You can't tell, but I have sensitive. Okay, that's really interesting. So now, Mama Sol, are there like different strengths? Is that like that's one of the things with sunscreen too? You're like, ooh, do you need 85 or 85?
That's a great question. So the rule of thumb is SPF 30. So SPF 30 protects your skin from 97% of the rays, and SPF 50 blocks you from 98% of the rays. It's a 1% difference. So the rule of thumb is SPF 30 and up. And then what SPF 30 also can mean is the amount of time you can spend out in the sun. So for example, if you are outside and you get burned in about 10 minutes, let's say you have to establish a baseline, right? So, okay. So yes. So Amy's saying that she burns in about 10 minutes. So what you would do is you would multiply 10 times 30. That's 300 minutes in the sun without burning that you can get from an SPF 30 sunscreen. But the caveat is you must reapply every 2 to 4 hours with mineral sunscreen. Every 2 hours is the rule of is what the FDA advises.
Right.
If you're not swimming or sweating and you're using mineral sunscreen, I typically go a little longer.
Okay. Yeah, my sister and I, we've nicknamed ourselves like our middle name is Burn and Peel. Like that's us. Very, very fair.
Yeah.
And you can't tell because I'm in Virginia and it's just sunny all the time. Well, it's not sunny right now, but we just very, very fair skinned.
Yeah.
Okay, and so do you have like the different strengths or is it
Yeah,
pretty
so we have
much
SPF 30 on our face, SPF 40 and 40-minute water resistant for our body. And then we also have 100% mineral tinted lip oil with SPF 20. And the reason that it's on the lower end is because it's a tinted SPF, which means it's just like a hint of color. So with zinc, unless you are going to be fully opaque, meaning like a lipstick, and you want to get it tinted, you can't put as much zinc sunscreen in it. But again, the difference between 20 and 30 is 1%. So it's lower. And people really just forget to protect their lips. So our 100%, it's called Lipbrella. We have two shades, Rise and Shine. Rise is like a toasty nude and Shine is a soft glowy pink. And the number one reason that your lips start to age, like get lines around the lips, they start to thin or get dry is because of UV damage. And so people just forget to protect their lips. So I just say, if you find anything to put on those lips with SPF, do it. We just won best lip gloss with SPF from New Beauty. And then just the other day found out that Shop Today voted us best tinted lip oil. So I think the reason our lip oils are doing so well is because we like to say it's the love child of a lip balm and a lip gloss. So you're getting a ton of hydration on the lip and it doesn't taste anything like sunscreen. I mean, no one can even tell that there's sunscreen in it. That is a feat in itself.
right? Because you know that when you buy a chapstick or something that has the SPF, it has I can't even describe that flavor.
It's such a
I can taste
bad
it.
aftertaste. It's like chemicals in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
And so you won't taste anything like that. In fact, ours is like a subtle sweet taste, really great ingredients. And then yeah, in our body, like I mentioned, was SPF 40 and it's 40-minute water resistant.
Okay. And can we talk about the difference between, I mean, okay, first, what is mineralized?
Mineral sunscreen versus chemical. So mineral sunscreen is a physical shield. That's how you have to think of it. So it's physically blocking UVA, UVB rays and scattering that. Okay. And then there's chemical sunscreen. You have to put that on, typically 15 to 20 minutes before you go outside. So it absorbs into the skin. It's more likely that chemical will end up in your bloodstream than mineral sunscreen. Another thing, and so I always say I'm not here to demonize chemical sunscreen because honestly, I want you to wear whatever it is that you want to protect you, right? So whatever you prefer is what I recommend. I just want people to understand the differences. And I also don't want to scare you about chemical sunscreen because the FDA has, named it being safe. But from what I have read, I prefer using zinc. Another reason is because, or zinc oxide. So the other reason is, I actually have a mini podcast myself, and I interviewed a world-renowned dermatologist, and he said that there's an ingredient called avobenzone, and it's the UVA blocker that brands will use in chemical sunscreens. But studies have shown that it's not photostable, which means it becomes less stable in the sun and degrades. So the best protection for UVA rays, which is the skin cancer causing rays, is zinc oxide.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's really interesting. And I mean, I don't love this, but I love that, this started when you were pregnant. I have a friend who kind of got me on this path to making my own and going natural because when she was pregnant, she went through a very similar thing when she was like, I get everything out of my house. I'm starting fresh.
Yeah.
And I don't have kids, but it moved me like that.
Yeah,
That
for
just
sure.
really touched me. So I'm a big fan of that. I mean, it's a great motivator, isn't it?
No, it is. And I think you and I were talking earlier just about how where do you even start, right?
Mhm.
With your getting rid of clean formulas, or, how to narrow it down in your beauty cabinet. So I always say, don't throw everything out at once. It's going to be really expensive. Start with one thing at a time. And so where can you start? That's really easy. That's impactful. It really is sunscreen. I mean, you want to use, and the reason I say that is because you have to wear it every day. So choose the things you use on a daily basis to start,
Mhm.
and then go from there.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So can we um sort of, I mean, I don't want to say necessarily compare, but like what I know that you said sort of what's the difference, but um if can we, all right, for my simple brain who doesn't use sunscreen, like why are you you know what I'm getting at, right? Like why would someone choose, I know, and I know that you said buy, just use sunscreen, but like we would want mineral because it's so one, it's not going to soak into your skin. It's just like going to sit on top and protect you. And did you say that it scatters? So like the rays
So
will like hit and then
yes,
scatter?
physical sunscreen will scatter UVA and UVB rays, whereas chemical sunscreen absorbs the rays.
Well, that's bad.
It's just different. It's just different, and it's more about, you know what is the best for you, for your lifestyle, for the type of skin you have.
Right. It just, I mean, it sounds, that sounds very different. I mean, like not the same effect at all. I mean, so one, it's absorbing into your skin, but then it's absorbing into the sunscreen, which is in your skin.
Yes, but of course it like converts the rays, so it's that then become less harmful. It's blocking. They're still both safe. Okay. The FDA has said chemical and mineral safe. I really don't want to scare people. I think there's a lot of fear mongering online about sunscreen right now. And I just want to be the voice of reason here and make sure that you wear whatever it is that you will wear every day. But
Okay.
I just want people to know the difference,
Okay.
right?
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And so,
Yeah.
but you said also that it is reef safe, correct?
That's right.
Because my
Yep.
friend Alexa is a big deal for her. So I'm going to tell her about this.
Yeah, any mineral sunscreen, mineral says zinc oxide or titanium dioxide when you're looking at the active ingredient on the back. If it says anything else besides those two ingredients, then it's a chemical sunscreen.
What is zinc oxide or what's the other?
Titanium dioxide. So those are considered to be reef safe, and then chemical sunscreen is not. Mainly oxybenzone or octisolate is not reef safe.
That doesn't even sound good. So how did you, I know that you said you have a like a chemist friend that you were working with to develop this. How did you guys come up with this? Like this is chemist friend.
Yeah, I mean, I worked really hard for 5 years, and one of the things also that we can talk about is the sustainability of the packaging and the formula. So one of the reason it took us so long to develop the formula was because silicone free, the whole line is silicone free, and silicone tends to suspend zinc oxide, and it helps to prevent separation, but it's not biodegradable and they tend to clog your pores. So I didn't want it in our formulas. So it really just doesn't, it's not nourishing to the skin. And to me it gives a greasy feel, right? That might be something that you might not like. So we worked together for many years, trial and error, and finally came up with this beautiful formula. And it goes on white, but then it blends in clear. You cannot feel it at all on your skin. It feels like you have nothing on.
Wow.
And then the sustainability. So both the face and the lip are packaged in glass. And then the body sunscreen is made in 100% sugarcane tube. And that is because, so I want to say this, most of your beauty products, anything that measures under 2 by 2 is going to end up in the landfill. Okay.
Mhm.
That is pretty much a guarantee in the
Yeah.
United States.
It's too
Also,
small for machines.
that's right. And also tubes are not recyclable in the United States. This is my background. So
Oh,
I
what?
learned a lot about this. So people who put tubes in the recycle bin, it will end up in the landfill. So I don't put recycling symbols on my tube because they will not end up in the recycling facility. So we don't believe in greenwashing.
Okay.
The 80% of women's hormones are out of balance, and men have a high percentage as well. And a lot of it has to do with microplastics. So we packaged our face and our lip in glass because then that's, for me, it's less plastic leaching into the soil. And then in addition, when you fill a bottle and it's plastic, most likely, just like in our water bottles, the plastic's going to end up in your products, and then you're putting microplastics on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you avoid that? You use glass. So that's really a big initiative for us, is to use the least amount of plastic as we can. And then when we do use plastic, try our best to use options like sugarcane and bioresin, or PCR, which is post-consumer recycled plastic.
Oh, I love that. Wow. And I don't think I knew that about tubes. So you're saying like lipstick or chapstick, that type of tube.
Well, no, I'm talking about like toothpaste tubes or body sunscreen tubes.
Oh,
And
okay.
like, you can't, if you can see
Yeah,
that. But
so like soft plastic.
but even lipstick tubes are too small to recycle. So again, really just be wary of the brands that talk a lot about their products being recyclable when they're really small, or their tubes.
Because they're pretty much not.
That's pretty much right.
You're pretty much right there. Okay. All right. And so let's see. We want to look at impact on us. I know you talked about that a little bit, Arielle, but so the impact on us of your product. So is it moisturizing as well, or is it?
Yeah, so our all of our formulas are very hydrating. So everything's multitasking. So our face sunscreen is a 3-in-1. It's your SPF, it's your daily moisturizer, and it's your skin smoothing makeup primer all in one. It was voted by Women's Health magazine to be best for dry skin because it is so hydrating. We have ingredients like Kakadu plum, which is brightening. We have Arnica montana flower extract, which is soothing. We have green tea extract, which is going to help smooth fine lines and wrinkles. Then we have hyaluronic acid, Sacha inky extract. We have Ectoin, a ton of just amazing nourishing ingredients for your skin that is going to keep it really, really hydrated.
Wow.
We also have squalene that's going to help create a very smooth effect for your skin. So when you apply makeup on top, there's going to be just no pilling. Your skin's going to look smooth and primed. And then for our body sunscreen, it's extremely hydrating. We have pomegranate, tamanu seed, acai, and rosehip oils to help smooth the look of uneven skin texture. You want to think of our line as a skincare sunscreen, right? So we're not just a sun care brand. We want to give you every reason to use us, right? So we're eliminating other steps. So think of all of our products as a anti-aging self-care treat with sun protection.
I mean, it sounds delicious.
Yeah. And our lip oils also plump the look of your lips. They're hydrating and they protect. So everything, like I said, everything's multitasking.
Okay. And so you could get rid of your moisturizers and whatever if you're using sunscreen, which you should be using sunscreen.
Right.
Me?
Exactly. The other thing is our packaging we like to think is beautiful. And so if it's beautiful, you're going to want to put it on your vanity and you're going to be reminded to use it every day. And I think whatever you keep on your bathroom counter, that's what you're going to use.
Mm-hmm. Right. Of course. Okay. And then so I keep going back to 5 years. Like it took 5 years to develop this. And
well, when we started, it was in 2017. I had 2 kids in that time and the pandemic happened. So you can imagine there were so many ups and downs. There were times where I thought we were going to launch and then COVID happened and we were like, okay, no, we're not launching now. So there was just so many different variables. And then this was my first time creating a sunscreen. I've worked in product development and I've worked on sunscreen, but on my own, no, this was a whole new learning experience for me. Mm-hmm. So we launched with 1 SKU. I wanted to test it out, see how it did. And then it was so successful that the following year we were able to launch our body and lip sunscreens. And now we're working on 3 new SKUs for next year. really excited about that.
Can
Um,
you sneak me
share.
out? Yeah.
I'll just share that it's
I was
the
gonna ask what's next.
I
Like,
was just going to share that it's some tinted options. And I get asked a lot about why we don't have a tinted moisturizer because a lot of people like to just throw on their tinted moisturizer and then be done. Tinted moisturizer is tricky because most people don't apply enough to get the protection that it says, because most people don't want to look like they have on caked on makeup, right? So they're only going to use a little bit.
right.
You really need to use almost 6 times the amount of that you would use of a regular sunscreen to get the protection that it says.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's really important to use just a traditional sunscreen underneath and then use your tinted on top as a just an added protection.
Okay, except if we're using yours, which is going to be coming out.
Well, yes, but I still recommend putting that on top of our sunscreen. I say use it together.
Got it. Okay. Wow, that sounds like a lot. And I would guess like me, a lot of people will probably don't use enough because we're like, I don't want to clog everything.
Sure.
I don't want to be breaking out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just going to use a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's not really doing
It's like, why even do
doing
it if
any
you're
good.
not going to, you should be using, just for your listeners, if they don't know how to use, how much to use 3 fingers worth. So 3 lines, index finger, middle finger, and then ring finger. You should be applying 3 lines of sunscreen, and that's how much for your face and neck. A shot glass for your body.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that does sound like a lot. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So this is really like self-care, doing, taking care of your body, self-care.
Yeah.
And so I'm really curious. So you were working in like sustainability field for the jobs that you had before, because you said
Yeah.
you're in makeup.
Yeah. I was in makeup and skincare. Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but you mentioned wellness, and one thing I want to mention is our formulas, our face and our body smell like a subtle hint of lavender essential oil. And that's really there to encourage you to take a deep breath with each use. I'm a busy mom of two, and when I'm getting ready in the morning, I just want a moment for myself where I can take a deep breath and be reminded that my oxygen mask has to go on first before I can be the best mom that I can be. And I really do relate our products to that, because when you take care of your skin, you're going to feel so much better about yourself, right? That's just, it's the
Mhm.
first thing people see. It's the
Right.
first thing you see in the morning. And then also just the smell is intoxicating. It's just this, we like, one of our taglines is a sunscreen and a spa day had a baby, you'd get Mama Sol. And I really want to share with your audience a discount code. It's grounded mama 15, if that's okay to share with your audience.
Please do.
and and then I hope everybody can try the different products because they're really great, and I hope that it allows you to start using sunscreen, Amy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, do you know anybody who does like a good bug spray too?
Oh, I think Kinfield, actually. Kinfield, I believe, does a good one.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that because
Yeah,
I don't
and you
do that
can
either.
find us at shopmamasol.com if you're interested. Mamasol. And then our Instagram is Shop Mama Soul if you want to follow along with us.
Shop Mama Soul. I like that. And just it really flows when you're spelling it. That's really fun.
Exactly.
Awesome. And so 15% off. My goodness.
Yeah.
And so that's really, really generous. And I so appreciate that, Arielle. Anything else that you wanted to add about? I mean, did I miss anything about sunscreen that we needed to talk about?
No, I think we went over everything. And again, if your customers, or I mean, sorry, your listeners have any questions, please, find us, DM me on Instagram, and we're happy to, answer any questions you guys have. And then we also, you know, you can follow us along on our Instagram and probably find a lot of what you are looking for there.
Cool. I love that it has that lavender scent. I literally just so this is mid-June when we're recording. I just picked some lavender from my front yard and I was like as I was cutting it, I could smell it on my hands and my grandmother used to have like the lavender essential oils in her bathroom all the time and I like just smelling that I was it just brought me right back there. Because
Very nostalgic.
yes, yes. And it's a light sense. I mean, it's, unless you're like really breathing it in, but it's just a nice, comforting thing. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to trying that.
Thank you, Amy.
Cool. And so shop Mama Soul, you guys, and use the discount code
Yep.
Grounded Mama 15. Don't forget that. Check that out. And gosh, Arielle, thank you so much. I'm so excited to learn about this and to be able to share it because hey, the sun just came out.
That's right.
And it's
It's
summer.
almost our summer solstice,
And even when it's
everybody.
not summer, right?
Yeah,
Even when it's
that's right.
cloudy, we need to protect ourselves from the sun. So thank you
Yep.
for that lesson too. I
Yep.
I missed that one before.
Take notes, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amy.
I just want to take a second to thank my guest again for speaking with me and sharing such great information. I love having these conversations with folks. I also want to thank Buzzsprout for hosting the podcast, for Jane Bolduck and her music genius, for Becca Coffron and her award-winning artwork. And thank you for listening. I appreciate that so much. Please check out the show notes for any links and extra information. And if you would like to follow my guest and find out more about them, I'm sure they would love the follow. And if you don't mind leaving a rating or review wherever you're listening, and just help to get this podcast in front of new eyes, that would be amazing. I would really love that. And feel free to reach out to me on the socials and let me know what you're thinking. And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, please let me know that. I would love to have a conversation with you about sustainability. All right. Thank you again. I hope you have a great rest of the week.
There'll come a day, my mama told me, when I find love to have and hold me, a heart that's strong and so sincere. Just tell me, how do I get there from here? Oh, tell me, how do I get there from here? 'Cause here and now I'm so far down that mercy's bound to find me. We'll find a way to soothe the sickness. We'll heal the aches with sweet forgiveness. Wages of war will disappear. Just tell me, how do I get there from here? I wonder, how do I get there from here? Yeah, 'cause here and now I'm so far down that mercy's bound to find me. When that state of grace has finally found me, well, there'll be music, ooh, and good friends around me, yeah, yeah. And I'll just smile through happy tears and wonder,